use my phone. All right. My capstone, which my child has just barely managed to stay awake to get to, is hit frappe to create a blended learning environment. I used to work at the Y, and we learned way back that not every program is for every kid. And the exact same deal with education. Not every kid is going to fit the way your school is teaching them. So consequently, you have to have an alternative, which is luckily where I work. I work at Central Bay High School, which is an alternative ed high school. We have students with very, very different needs, so there had to be someplace else for them to be. We have the lowest performing students in the district. And this is not necessarily because they're unable. We have kids with socio-emotional problems. We have kids that are homeless. We have kids that have drug abuse in their families or with themselves. We have kids that are migrant, so they're only at their school for 6 months. So sundry reasons for why our kids end up in alternative ed. Just to give you an idea of our kids, we have 80% of our student body is Latino. 2 out of every 10 students is female. Think that one through real quick. How many guys are at my school? A lot. Actually, I'd rather have no girls if I could have it my way. And 98% of our student body did not choose to come here. Now think about teaching. Like, you run out and get an education in that field, don't you? Now all of you remember high school. I did this presentation for my students. We all remember the teacher up front, going through their routine, and my classroom was just the same. I'm up here, I'm doing my shtick, and everything's going on everywhere else in my room. Did they hear a thing that I said? Did they pay attention to anything? Negative, because this is what's happening while I'm talking. So what did I discover? I have a lot more classroom management problems, and I don't do classroom management problems. I don't like write-ups. I can't stand the paperwork for sending a kid to detention, and I don't want to call home and tell their parent their kid just got booted from my class. So something wasn't working. I mean, they're not paying attention. I ask a question, they don't have an answer other than what the party is next weekend. So this is what I'm getting in my grade book. This is not an alternative. This is what I spent my days thinking. You come home and you're like, so I had to come up with a solution. And I've been pondering the solution a long time.
What is?
Isn't that cool? This is not my work, by the way. This comes from Discovery School. It's really cool. I like the smart board. I want to know where they got that board. I'm thinking it's the big TVs at the military. I think they have them. Anyway, so I had to make a change. The state of California defines alternative ed in the Ed Code as a course of study that is different from and an alternative to the regular form. Obviously what I was doing, a lecture, a textbook, a quiz, it's the same gig. No wonder it wasn't holding their attention. So what I proposed after a lot of thinking, and I ended up in MIST, how perfect is that? Is I needed to create a different way to do things. So I completely redid my classroom over the summer, and Nancy was cute. She goes, okay, wait a minute. This sounds like you're just rearranging your room. I said, no, I promise. That's not all I'm doing. But I did rearrange my room for 3 weeks. And then I took my instruction and moved over 50% of it into a digital environment. So moving it out of my room, so I'm not doing this and they're doing this. I'm ready to lose my mind. And my room is very similar setup to this, where there's a space, should be a space, where there's computers, and project area for model building, a lab, a whole lab area that's all self-serve, so it's all set up and ready for lab work. And the theory, of course, is that this creates an environment that students not only have a choice in what they do, they have the freedom to decide what they want to do when. They have control over their education. And my favorite of all words is this next one. That one. The responsibility is now shifted. And I did this with my 3rd period class. I said, whose responsibility is it now? And they're like, mine. I said, yes, it is. It is yours. Not mine. My job is to get it set up and ready and be there for you. But your job is to actually pass through the door and do the work. Not mine. So That was my thought on a truly alternative ed. I'm not going to give you any statistics, sorry, we just get some basics. Some of the accomplishments, yes, these are my little darlings in some of my classroom. We did get some good problem solving. When I've been running the program since August. I started it when school started, because you really just can't decide to run this program in 6 weeks and go, okay, now we'll go back to lecture style. So I just started it from the get-go. So we have learned some problem solving. We did do some testing, pre and post testing on 2 different units, and the students actually did show learning. And I was ready to tell Nancy and make a whole big explanation why Thanksgiving my students didn't show such good scores. They actually scored better after Thanksgiving break. That one just threw me for a curve. We had engagement, and this one we're still working on, more technology use. But we did do this. Please run. I'm begging you. Oh, you're great. That's only 56 seconds. I'll just show you a little piece. But this was a student-designed activity to show continental drift and convection currents. They had to create a video. So they set up, they cut all the pieces out, did all that stuff, and set it up a few times. But believe me, they ran it like 7 times. So to show convection currents, etc. Because we are at a time limit. I did the video part though. I videoed it, helped edit. They haven't gotten there because, well, yeah, I'll explain that part in a second. Echo? Stop. Thank you. All right. So live and in action, that's the homepage of my site. Please go to the link. Yes. I love it when things work. It makes me so excited. This is my main homepage. All the navigation is located at the top. As you can see here, we're going to focus primarily on the science instruction because that's what I keyed in on. So you can see that about the course grading system, an interactive calendar so the kids can see what they can do. Thank you, Will. And down here you'll see all the units at the bottom, and the unit that we're on is always going to be in green because they don't read. But they can always go back to any of the former units. Each unit set up identical. There's a real-world project button so they can see their project in advance, how to get extra credit, how to see how they're going to be graded. All units are focused around the 4 to 7 learning targets, which have very clear behavior responses of what they should be able to do. Then the information is laid out in the sections. So what they're going to be responsible to create for class, it'll have worksheets, it has any digital projects, whatever assessments we might be doing. Then it's their choice from here, what they want to read, what they want to watch, and I did learn that putting the videos on the site helps us from surfing YouTube too much. Where to practice and play, so these are, and I created none of this stuff. That was my entire goal, was to create nothing for the platform. Everything is from stuff I found on the web. So these are all interactive activities the kids can do, and then just things that they can listen to, so podcasts, etc. And I have my rest of my stuff on here for all my other programs. This is the survival skills tab. It's not complete yet, but I do have a couple links that will help kids survive the class if they don't know how to do something. My other programs that we run, and then of course about school, me, the philosophy, and so on. So that's the site. My acknowledgements. I'll be quick, I promise. So obviously I need to acknowledge my team. My people, the Misfits. I would have put the other team up too, but you know. Oh, Mr. Kimbley, thank you for so many endless hours of tutorial work. To my CBHS staff, my principal for letting me run this at her school, my students being guinea pigs, Miss Flint for proofing every paper I wrote for this program, my students for being guinea pigs, the dream makers and donors choose, Samsung and Lakeshore, and of course my loving family who put up with me for the last 16 months and went through this journey with me. Clarifications, comments, questions? Oh, holy cow. Yes.
Sorry. I have a couple. I'm a high school teacher.
Yay!
One, did you find it difficult through your district to provide the funding for the computers?
What computers?
Okay, so that's all.
Yeah. What computers? I was supposed to have them. No, they're not there yet.
So then what gets the students to do all the assignments you had on your
I have been hanging out in another computer lab.
Okay.
And it does not work well. Believe me, I've been at war with this one.
Okay. And then the final question I had for her was, when you have all 3 stations set up, which I thought was really, really cool, do you ever get them fighting for territory?
Not yet, but we'll see what happens once I actually, I have a solution to the earlier question that you have, though. Okay, I'll show you in a second. Another question?
Mine's kind of what his was. I wanted to find out where they were having access to the online material. Are they allowed to get that material from home?
Absolutely.
outside?
It's mobile
And
too.